All right, today we're in a brand new Honda CR-V and we're going to be illustrating how to attach a ProClip center mount for this vehicle. All right, to get started, we want to say to read over the instructions, look over the photos before beginning. Next is attach the ProClip onto the vehicle prior to attaching anything onto the faceplate of the mount. And lastly, this ProClip comes with some double-sided tape. You'll see it here is the blue sheet. Remove the covering from the tape, and the residue from the tape won't stay on the vehicle if you want to remove the mount later on in the future. With that said, we'll get started. The first thing to look for is a ProClipUSA.com sticker. That indicates that is the top part of the mount. Now on the back side, or the forward-facing side of the top part of the mount, there's an L-shaped angled edge. It's a thin edge. Then on the bottom of the mount, there's a notched edge with a very sharp edge. We'll show you where those go into here in a minute. Next part is this ProClip comes with a couple gap openers. The gap openers will open up a seam between, if you've got a start button or an engine start-stop button on your car, it'll be right below it. And if not, if you don't have that button, if you have a keyed ignition, it will actually be just to the right. There's a panel, a decorative panel to the right of the keyed ignition. You'll take the gap opener and slide it into the seam between a little bit of a softer padded part of the dash below it and that trim piece we just mentioned. Very tight seam, so it'll take a little bit of pressure to get the gap openers in there. Put one to the far right of that seam if you can, where it intersects with the frame around the shifting lever, and the next one put in about 3.5 inches to the left of that. That'll open that gap up. Next part of the process here is that lower notched edge. If you'll start with a corner, you'll be able to slide it into that seam. Again, it's a very tight seam, so it's going to take some pressure to slide it back in there, and that notch will actually hook in behind the panel. There goes one end in, and if you apply a little pressure, you hear it click into place. Remove the gap openers. Take one of the gap openers. The top part of the mount is near the frame of the vent, the left vent on the top part of the dash. Insert the gap opener into the far right corner, just behind the upper part of that vent frame. Slide it into the seam. It'll open the vent or the seam up between the vent frame and the padded part of the upper part of the dash. Then if you'll take your finger and just gently push back, right where it says ProClipUSA.com, if you'll gently push back, what it'll do is it'll take this upper angled edge and slide it into that seam. You'll hear it click into place, just like that. Pop the gap opener out. You'll have a nice solid mounting platform to attach a ProClip device holder onto. We hope this illustration helps. Have a great day.